Okay, did you see that 100 Thieves released their video about their new compound?
The compound, which is so
The Cash
funny
App compound, by the way.
Because 1 month ago, we were trying to brainstorm names for this building that
Click
all
office.
the Click guys are in right now. And literally the name that was pushed so hard was the Click compound.
Yeah.
Or just the compound.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wanted to call it. And I was like, it sounds like a jail. Like, I don't want people to feel like we're in a prison. You know, like it actually, like, it's like, where do you work?
It's cool.
I work in a compound.
I
Yeah,
see
like
it
it
as like a
does.
hub.
I can see it. Yeah, I know. Like I can see it as a thing, and everyone else liked it. So I was clearly in the wrong. But I was like, man, I don't feel like. I feel like if I'm in a compound, I'm like trapped. Like take him to the compound.
You are trapped to make YouTube videos.
Exactly.
Stream
Make
forever.
content, never leave.
Nah, super cool. I mean, pretty amazing. They're obviously a company that's taken on some huge investment over the last couple of years.
Crazy.
And it's you know, it's different to what we're doing, but it's really interesting to see how they're doing it. And, you know, I think they're definitely up there now competing with the likes of FaZe and that sort of thing in terms of like brand recognition. And I'm interested. I want to go check it out.
Yeah, no, I'd be so keen to see that place when I'm. It's in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be in LA. But yeah, no, 100 Thieves is one of those. I'd love to like do like a breakdown of it and understand them more because I mean I think I was talking to you about this earlier today, but like it's so interesting because I would say if you talk biggest like gaming organization brands, it would be like FaZe, 100 Thieves, maybe one or two others, like definitely all the way up the top. They're right up there, like well above Click if you talk about like
not even
brand
on the same
names
scale.
in like a gaming recognition
Yeah,
space.
for sure.
But what I find so interesting is then, you know, you look at, okay, what are the like metrics we can use to
Judge that.
to judge that? And you'll go to like the 100 Thieves YouTube channel. And once again, infer that I would say their brand recognition in the gaming space is 10 to 20 times that of Click.
100%.
If not more. But if you look at, you know, the YouTube content they put up, it'll get, you know, like some videos will have like less than 100K views in a day. Obviously, ones like the compound will pull over 1 million, but I'd probably say they average 150K views a video.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they're building that over a much more diverse content stream. So naturally, you're going to kind of erode your views a bit there. But then it's interesting, like Click will throw a video up that'll, you know, like that. We had that New York vlog that we put up on like the second channel for Click that hasn't had content on it in months. And it was not
6
the best.
months.
It was not the best vlog. It was really not a great vlog in hindsight. I think it was a good learning thing for us to like figure out how to film them. But that was like 1 million views in a day. But it's just interesting how brand recognition doesn't equal YouTube views and vice versa. Us getting, you know, 1 to 2 million views consistently on YouTube content does not equal brand recognition.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how 100 Thieves, just the way that they've, and obviously they've huge success in other areas that we don't even touch, like esports. They're absolutely destroying right now. They've signed incredible players. They've done an amazing job. But yeah, it's just so interesting how brand recognition and YouTube views, like you'd think that would be a really translatable metric, but it's really not. And also brand value, like 100 Thieves is so valuable if you look at the investment behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they took on their Series B funding at like 40 million USD or something, which is wild. That's a huge valuation for a company that's only been around 2 years. Anyway, I mean, obviously they've been doing their whole thing with merch as well, and somehow they've elevated beyond just doing merch to really being seen as like a real brand that represents something. I'm really inspired by it. I find it really interesting. I'd love to see behind the scenes of that a little bit more and talk to the people that are involved because I think it's fascinating. It's an incredible story. And yeah, I don't know. I actually haven't watched the video yet with their tour, but I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, and it's so interesting when I feel like I'm going way too deep on 100 Thieves.
Cool. No, it's fine. Go
but
for
like it's so interesting to me. You know, you look at the you know, what does 100 Thieves do as a brand? Like, what does it exist for? Like, where is that money coming from? And I'm sure there's so many elements that, you know, we don't see as publicly, but it's something that I think I've talked a lot to you about, where it's like, you know, we're talking about esports teams and, you know, like should Click look at esports teams or that kind of thing. And the inherent value, a lot of the time, 100% definitely some very profitable esport teams out there, but a lot of the time the value of having teams in esports, stuff like, owning a CSGO team or a league team or whatever team, isn't so much the direct revenue that those teams bring in. Because a lot of the time, number one, you want to give the players the vast majority of the tournament prize winnings because it's their incentive to play well.
Yep.
You have to pay them salaries, you have to pay coaches, you have to pay training areas. Like, esports teams are a money sink. But what they do allow you to do is build a brand. And if you look at 100 Thieves, they don't really have, they have like Courage and Valk and like those kind of people, but they don't really have that like core YouTuber group in the same way that like a Click or a Sidemen or something does.
Yeah.
But they've managed to, regardless, build an insanely powerful brand. And what that brand is rallied around, because think, if they didn't have esports teams, what is the 100 Thieves brand built around? Not really. Like, it doesn't have like a core content group.
I mean, Matt, how important do you think Matt is in the equation?
Yeah, I think is like a directional face of it, definitely. But I don't think that I think what's interesting is that he's a good directional face of it, and I think people really obviously respect his role in the industry and just how much knowledge he has and how long he's been around and all that kind of thing. But I think that what's interesting is that, you look at like the Click group and it's like, what is the Click group built around? We're built around those weekly videos that, come out and that content that's made together as a group of YouTubers. And it's interesting that, 100 Thieves is kind of, it's the teams. It's that esport. It's just that the brand is the esports.
There's something inherent that you can't actually place.
Yeah.
It's not the YouTube views. It's not the creators that are behind it. It's not actually any individual team. It's something that they've done that sort of supersedes it all, which, credit to them. The fact that people feel that value but can't actually name what it is attached to is amazing.
Yeah, you're like 100 Thieves. Cool. Love it. Love it. Great brand. You're like, what is, what is most companies have a product, they make hummus, for example. But yeah. And, I think esports is just one of those super interesting things where, obviously it's like very much has precedent in what sports teams do. But yeah, no, just 100, it's super, super interesting seeing how quickly they've grown, how I think, getting investment from people like Drake, and then obviously that connection with Scooter Braun, who, for people who don't know, is one of the like biggest music managers in the world.
Undoubtedly so.
And he's clearly, and you could almost see a direct point from that moment that Scooter Braun got involved. And I think, Drake was very much brought in as like a token thing. From my understanding, it's kind of like invested a little bit of money, never, follows a couple of people on Instagram, never seen or heard from again, which is still, but it's still like from a branding perspective,
but
a very
who
cool
cares?
thing.
And maybe that actually doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Drake's not there every day. It matters that like they had an article and they got to put his name on the title.
But you can see though, instantly, as soon as Scooter Braun got involved, it's like, okay, you've got big names like Drake, Scooter Braun behind it, and then suddenly all these big companies who are very, very publicly attached to 100 Thieves, like Cash App and Rocket Mortgage, are like, you instantly have these big companies who are like, oh, Scooter Braun says they're good. Yeah, we should work with them. Like we've been wanting to get into gaming. Like there's a trustworthy big music industry name backing them.
That legitimacy.
Yeah, that means that we should be getting on that.
Yeah.
And I think my only, like the only criticism I could ever give 100 Thieves, which I also isn't really a criticism because clearly like they've been putting this money to such good use, is I think sometimes their sponsorship branding is a little bit more
it's heavy.
It's heavy, it's like, this is the Cash App compound.
Yeah.
100 Thieves Cash App compound.
Even
and then
their
it's
podcast, it's like,
this is the Rocket Mortgage training room. It's like, it's very like front, but at the same time, you ain't building a $10 million 100 Thieves compound without a couple of sponsors. So,
no.
like power to it.